So far, we've talked about developing your pieces and getting them into the game. But there's one more important part of the opening we need to talk about: castling. Castling is a special move that allows you to move your king to safety while also bringing one of your rooks closer to the center. It's one of the most useful moves in chess, especially during the opening. So in this video, we'll learn exactly how castling works, why it's so important, and the rules you need to know before you can castle. Castling is the only move in chess where you move two pieces at the same time, your king and one of your rooks. There are two types of castling. The first is kingside castling, also known as short castling. With white, the king moves from e1 to g1, while the rook moves from h1 to f1. For black, the king moves from e8 to g8, while the rook moves from h8 to f8. The second type is queenside castling, or long castling. For white, the king moves from e1 to c1, while the rook moves from a1 to d1. And for black, the king moves from e8 to c8, while the rook moves from a8 to d8. As you can see in this example, white has the option to castle on either the king side or the queen side, while black can only castle on the king side. What you may have noticed is that you can only castle when there are no pieces between the king and the rook. Also, neither the king nor the rook can have moved earlier in the game. Now, one more important rule to remember is that you cannot castle while your king is in check. You also cannot castle if any of the squares the king has to pass through or land on are under attack. Here's an example where black is currently in check and tries to castle. As you can see, the white rook is giving the black king check. So, no matter how many times I try to castle, the game simply won't allow it. But why? Remember, there are only a few ways to get out of check. You can capture the checking piece, block the check, or move your king to a safe square. In this position, the black rook cannot capture the white rook, and it also can't block the check while castling, because castling requires the rook to move to its designated square. Since the king is already in check and castling cannot resolve that check, castling is simply not allowed. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense as to why you can't castle while in check. Just because you can't castle doesn't mean the game is over. If you find yourself in a situation like this, you still need to deal with the check first. In this example, we can block the check with one of our bishops, allowing the king to escape the check. You might be wondering, why not use the queen instead? Well, when you have multiple ways to block a check, it's often better to use the less valuable piece, while keeping your more valuable pieces active. The important thing to remember is that castling is not a way to escape a check. In this last example, you can see that the white king cannot castle because the black light-squared bishop attacks one of the squares the king must pass through. Let's go back one move and turn this position into a quick quiz. White is about to make a move, but remember that castling is not possible because of the black bishop. So, what should white have done instead? Pause the video and see if you can find the best move. Let's see what you came up with. For those who attempted and played castles, well done. And that's everything you need to know about castling. We've learned how castling works, the rules you need to follow, and most importantly, why castling is so useful for keeping your king safe and getting your rook into the game. Remember, castling is an important part of the opening, but don't do it automatically. Always take a moment to check whether your king will actually be safe. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beginner-friendly chess lessons. And get ready for the next lesson, where we'll talk about activating the queen and when to bring her into the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.